Happy equinox, everyone. I got an hour to kill, so I'm gonna walk around this part. I want to show the school is right around. It's in the city center of Viterbo, but it's right outside the wall. So I'm gonna do a little walk towards the wall and show this cat. Mucho meow! Oh my goodness! Meow! Meow! Oh my god! Hi! Meow!
It's funny how some cats are really friendly and others are not. Meow. Oh.
A pizza place. I'm gonna be broke. I hate this. Be broke for about 6 days. I won't have any money on me at all. Not even a dime. I have bus tickets. I have food at home. I always do this. I'm so bad at managing myself. So let's see what's over here. This is called Porta. I think last time I went in. Oh no, I did come in this way last time. Oh, so I'm about to film. Well, I'll take a different street. Porta di Pianoscarano o del Carmine. Del Carmine is the school I work for. I work for the school, but. Whoa! Car behind me charging. Shit. So I took pictures of this before. Let's see which way am I gonna go. This part of the tour was nice because it's kind of on a rise on the western side of the rise, and that means that you can see towards the ocean and direction of the ocean. I did a 360 here last time, and let's just walk a little bit this way. The last time I went down there, I didn't go this way. Maybe I'll go this way. And because Viterbo is set on the opposite side of Monte Cimino. So Soriano is on the eastern side of Monte Cimino, facing the Adriatic. Like far away on the other Adriatic is far away on the other side. That's where you can see all the tall snow-capped mountain peaks. And then as you turn on to the other side of Monte Cimino, you're facing sort of west on the peninsula, which means you get the sunset. Which is why I was able to take those beautiful pictures the other day from Viterbo. And so because it's on the sunset side, like Monte Cimino is kind of like the high point in this part of Italy. So if you are facing towards, we're really close to the Tirreno. I don't know how to say Tirreno in English. Oh, there's those little stairs I was telling you about, which are so typical of Viterbo. They're like little munchkin scale. It's big stones and little windows. It's really cute. Really cute. And so you get a feeling that you can almost see the ocean. You can't, of course, it's too far, but it drops towards a faraway horizon, towards the Tirreno, that it gives you the illusion, and you see the sunset on the horizon, so it gives you the illusion it's setting on the ocean. But the ocean is a lot further away. I'm talking about that way. The sun is coming down from up here. There's the sun. And it's going to be setting down there. And so Viterbo is kind of up high on this and mount, and then Montecimino is out over there. And on the other side of it is Soriano. Oh, we got a church. Should we go inside? Si può entrare nella chiesa, signora?
Un attimino se vuole di corsa perché
Ok.
ci sono i lavori non si potrebbe.
Ah, grazie. È molto antica?
Del 1200.
Del 1200?
È stata ricostruita in
Grazie.
parte perché è stata bombardata.
Oh, this was built in the 1200s. And she's telling me, she's letting me take a little quick view of it.
Sì,
It was rebuilt.
adesso non c'è più niente perché abbiamo tolto tutto. Per noi le chiesette ce l'avevano dentro il salone come una volta era l'asilo, l'abbiamo nel salone, c'è adesso la rivediamo.
È stata bombardata nella seconda guerra mondiale?
Sì, l'ultima.
Ah,
Sì, è stata rifatta, in parte è stata rifatta.
grazie.
Prego.
Buonasera. Okay. Yeah, every single Italian city has a story about how it was destroyed during the Second World War. I mean, today's generation doesn't realize, but Europe was completely devastated. Germany had beautiful cities, just beautiful Baroque, Gothic, Art Deco, everything. They had beautiful cities, and they were just carpet bombed. Such a loss to human culture. Completely unnecessary. It was just a move that British and Americans wanted to make sure that it was established, who won and who was the boss, basically, and intimidate and push down through destruction, push down the civilization, the civilization of their enemies, to the point where it'd be so difficult for them to get back on their feet that the U.S. and Britain would have time to become strong and make it very hard for them to catch up again. It's just barbaric, Barbaric. I was blown away when I went to Germany, because it was all like Bauhaus modern everywhere I looked. It didn't look like Europe. It didn't look like this. And the only reason there's so much of Italy first of all, they weren't on the side of Germany for the whole duration of the war. They changed sides, and so they were spared the end. They didn't fight all the way to the end like the Germans did. But also because the Italian population and its cities are concentrated and distributed numerously up and down the peninsula. So you have lots of cities like this that are big. Compared to German cities, German towns were a lot smaller. And then you had the big cities like, Dresden, Berlin, Dusseldorf, Cologne. But the little cities were smaller. And a lot of cities almost didn't exist. There were tiny little villages that in any case, when Germany got rebuilt, these little villages became towns, modern towns, larger modern towns. So you don't see this typically in Germany. See some of it in Austria, France, Switzerland, of course. But it's, if you find pictures of what Germany looked like before the World War, you just your stomach turns because you realize what we lost. And it seems we don't. War is so... today you look at Yemeni cities, for example, and just how exquisitely their cultures refine these little cities, with architectural ancient detail. And in just a turn of a dime, the U.S. would blast a historical site in Afghanistan or Iran or Yemen, just like that. So we don't really learn from seeing how we hurt ourselves as a species, basically. And until we learn to understand that we're this one species, this one collective organism that produces art and culture by virtue of our humanity. It's not that Syria produces architecture or Iran produces architecture or Japan. It's really us. And until we start living our world that way and loving the fact that we produce beautiful art and architecture wherever as our productions, the productions that are capable by humanity to develop and to create, we won't really have much of a conscience about destroying things with the smallest of excuses. Just like the Israelis are destroyed already so much of Palestinian, whatever wasn't Jewish, they felt they had no reason to save and preserve, because it was more significant to destroy the Palestinian enemy, and if that involved 500-year-old churches, they did. So unity means a lot more than just, it's not just a political idea. It's a love for what we're capable of creating artistically as well. All right, I suppose I can start heading back. Scusami, lo sai che ore sono? Lo sai che ore sono?
What? 16.
Ah, grazie. Got half an hour. Yeah, and the consciousness, I call it the we consciousness. At any time of the day, when you get up, your self-awareness is not just you American or you Brazilian waking up in your province, in your city, but it's of you human being waking up in your world, our world, which means everything that we would talk about would be a human issue. We would stop seeing people for their races and groups and ethnicities or countries of origins or religions. We would see a human being that practices that religion, a human being that was born in this region or this country, a human being that is of this race and ethnic tradition. But first, the critical order, which is what I always write about, the critical order would be rearranged to the proper way of understanding ourselves. And when we do that, we'll see that the most important thing is the oneness of our humanity, and then we can talk about every other sub-aspect of us, where we're born or our race, and then we can talk about everything needs to be reordered in the critical sense, like language and communication. We can't talk about be fervent or passionate about democracy when we try so hard to convince people to hate this political group or blame this other political group, and then we say that we're all for political freedom. How can you say we're for political freedom when you're trying to sneakingly convince people to hate socialism or this group or that country's, governmental philosophy or political philosophy? Democracy means that it is required to hear everyone, to see where the good idea is, where the omission was hidden. And that means that we need to hear everybody's language and everybody's culture and everybody's society and everybody's political structure of reason and logic to capture the broadest way human intelligence was. We can see our faults, our lacks, our omissions, our voids, and say, oh no, but this other culture, or this other society, or this other political philosophy does have that concern and has developed a way of addressing this aspect of human civilization. We don't. We tend to neglect that aspect in our political philosophy. We'll never be able to do that if all we want to do is win and eradicate the others. So to say that we want democracy, to sustain the reasons we believe democracy is better, will be a lie until we embrace all different forms of political expression. And that has to do with critical order. So by ordering vertically, properly the design of human beings and human civilization, you'll find that then things do make sense. Okay, here we are again. Let's head back. I don't know if you can see the ocean. No, you can't. You see some mountains. There's another little line of mountains before you start approaching the ocean in that direction. We'll see what we're able to see from here. But yeah, the critical order of understanding is so important to even answer the question, what is happening to us? What is our problem? Why do we keep repeating the same patterns? Why do we always fall into the same injustices, abuses? Why do we repeat like a vicious cycle? The same situations, the same fights, the same competitions politically, or why does our hypocrisy so resoundingly prevail above our what we would aspire for a better civilization? And we're never going to understand why we do these things, why we keep resuscitating into new forms, into new bodies, into new expressions, into new appearances, the same problematic. People talk about mass and faith. Why do we keep talking about fascism? Because we realize authoritarianism versus the sensible populist thought towards social health and addressing those that are neglected, left behind, poorer, who don't get to stay at the top of the wave with everybody else, enjoying the most civilization has to offer, is a concern. And so populist, or the reason socialism and Marxism and labor and all these other angles on political philosophies occur is because the domination of the individualistic mind, the one that based on ego and invention, systems, authority, tends to prevail and push forward. That is really about a configuration of the human mind. The human mind is made of the individual ego, force in the human brain, and the collective awareness, social empathy part of the human mind. And they're both symbiotically, inseparably configured in each of our human brains. They're not very harmonious, but that's how evolution pushes forward, by prioritizing the integrity of the collective while pushing harder with the individual mind. And so the individual mind is kind of selfish and says, I'm going to do this. Look at what I can understand. I'm just going to plow forward and build this invention, and people see intelligence and they want to go for it because we all honor the gift of intelligence as really what is the tool or the vehicle that pushes us forward, careens us out of the predicament of difficulty and toiling in the biological world, our planetary predicament. But really, the human brain is already wired to understand that doesn't really want to lose anybody. Well, that's why when we walk away really quickly on our own determined will, we don't take too long to turn around and see if we left anybody behind, or who's not coming, or have I walked too far away from the group. That naturally happens in the human mind. But when these two parts of the brain are expressed in the systems of political governance, they don't have that natural ability of not separating. Rather, they combat and they want to destroy each other because they're being wielded by human nature instead of by evolution, essentially. And so that's our big problem. We think that one is better than the other, one is more evolved, one is more effective. We think that liberal capitalism and the rule of money and profit is what makes the world grow. But really what we're doing is we're ignorantly not realizing that the brain would have it otherwise. The brain would say, wait, yeah, I do that too. I plow forward with my individual mind. But you know what? Different to you, I never forget that the priority and the fundamental configuration of evolution is first always making sure that I perceive the species as a collective organism before anything else. And therefore the individual mind, the arrowhead that pushes invention and ego forward, is serving me, is serving my beautiful collective creation, as all forms of life, conscious and not conscious, start on the baseline of being an organic collective. Nature does not invent a prototype and then multiplies it. It does not know any other way of creating life forms than a constant emergence of collective forms. Within each is an individual unit, but evolution and nature and the human brain doesn't separate these two. It may seem unstable, and that's just how it works. The individual mind needs to be kind of capriciously wanting to do its own thing and break away and appear to want to leave everything behind. But in reality, it doesn't want to, and it is incapable of. We, on the other hand, have expressed these two forces in the invention of political systems, and we think they have to fight each other and one destroy the other. And so we're destroying ourselves instead of staying integral, instead of maintaining our life form's integrity, which is what the brain and evolution would do in the end, even though it would appear that we're kind of skitty sometimes. And we'll rebelliously leave our clan and go colonize another valley and develop a new language. and start doing things differently, but we never leave the human organic collective of the planet. No matter how much we may have taken a different style, a different form, a different path. So our political systems are doing this, and we don't see it. We don't see socialism, Marxism, and collectivism as the other side of the brain that says, wait, you're not caring about how everybody wants to make sure they can access health easily and effectively and without too much effort. You don't realize how that is important to anybody. You don't care because you feel that having a lot of money is something that anybody should easily be should achieve easily. But the world demonstrates otherwise, and we refuse to see it because we insist on one of these two systems winning, and nothing could be more unnatural than insisting on one of these two fields, systems, political premises winning over the other. Nothing could be more self-destructive than separating these two spheres of the human brain that somehow are meant to somehow quasi-harmonize but stay always together, fused in a single symbiotic mechanism to not separate. We are separating them, and we're having them combat each other and think that one is the enemy, one has to be destroyed, and the other one has to prevail. And so, if the brain would do that, we would start dying off very quickly. And yet we're doing it with the artifice of politics. I hope I made my point. I know it took too long, but I'm trying to explain this very, very basic concept to help us understand better what is happening, what happens to us. Why do we keep repeating the same mistake? What is it that we're doing that we can't see ourselves doing? That we keep fooling ourselves, telling ourselves we're not really doing the same, but we are. We are remaking, reconstructing the same reasons every single empire has collapsed. And we seem to be impotent in stopping ourselves. Well, it's time that we start understanding why. What is up, ¿Qué nos pasa, like they say in Spanish? What is the matter with us? That us is understanding of the universal human being, the one that we all are in every corner of the world. When you say, what is going on with us, you have to understand the human brain and why we keep repeating the same mistakes. Until we do that, we're not really going to be helping ourselves much. And especially if we think that this is God's idea, that we keep tripping, that we're just here to try to figure out how to be like some kind of mystical instruction that we're incapable by nature to ever achieve. And so, ooh, boo, hoo, hoo, this is our predicament. And accept it, and accept that there will be. No, everything we do is our creation. Everything we do is our way of thinking and what we educate ourselves to understand and think. Nobody's making us fail. Nobody has given us an impossible problem, insolvable, impossible problem. All right, back to school. Back to school. My pants are falling. I forgot to put my belt on today. Ciao tutti. Till next time.